and all the girls like me. Nah, I'm just kidding. But today I'm going to explain how you can keep your number and switch networks. My
Welcome, this is the newsroom for Monday, August 18, 2025. We're broadcasting to you on E1, Scar TV, NTN, and Tarsi TV in Bartica. In the headlines, health, education, and massive infrastructure development headline the PPP's plans for the next 5 years as it launches its manifesto. The Chief Elections Officer says it is virtually impossible for anyone to vote twice on Elections Day.
Virtually impossible unless there's collusion.
President Ali says cash grant vouchers to be included in the digital ID card. Free life-changing prosthetic limbs being provided to Guyanese amputees. And in sport, 18-year-old jockey dies in race incident at Guyana Cup. With the news, I'm Neil Marks. We're glad you could join us. The incumbent People's Progressive Party has launched its re-election manifesto, a wide-ranging plan it says will deliver the most ambitious transformation in Guyana's history. From oil and gas to education, healthcare, housing and infrastructure, the promises are big. So what's in it? It's 65 pages long, but here's a summary I prepared. The PPP manifesto begins with a message from its three leaders, President Irfan Ali, Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, and Vice President Bara Jagdeo. At the start of the manifesto, they point out that in 2026, Guyana will celebrate 60 years since attaining political independence after centuries of colonial rule. And on the eve of this milestone, the country is at one of the most crucial junctures in its entire political and economic history. They said the PPP is a party with tested and proven leadership, and leadership that will realize the prosperity Guyanese have long anticipated and awaited as a country and as a people. The next 5 years, the PPP leaders say, is one that will see them delivering a modern, prosperous and inclusive Guyana, one in which the stated aim of translating national prosperity into community, household and individual prosperity will be realized. On disposable income, the party says there will be no new taxes. The Because We Care cash grant will double to $100,000 per child, plus a new $100,000 transportation grant. Old age pensions and public assistance will continue to climb. Fuel and utility subsidies will remain in place. On mining, the PPP promises to work with private investors to realize new large-scale mining operations, make more lands available for small miners to be able to access concessions, invest aggressively in hinterland roads and airstrips. There will be no increase in royalties, no VAT on heavy equipment, and no tributers tax. In the bauxite mining sector, the PPP says it will continue to work with private investors to ramp up fully the metallurgical-grade bauxite project in Linden, engage with private at the abandoned locations in the Berbice River, while encouraging exploration of other areas, explore the viability of alumina refining in collaboration with private investors, support rapid expansion in the production of quarry stone and sand products. Over the next 5 years, the PPP wants Guyana to become the industrial capital of the Caribbean. It says it will complete the industrial estate at Wales to host a vast complex of industrial and manufacturing enterprises, including the manufacture of enough cooking gas to meet and exceed domestic requirements, along with ammonia and urea for use as fertilizer, and establish a hub to use the electricity for other manufacturing. Construct a second such industrial estate in Region 6, where private capital could be mobilized for such activities as oil refining, alumina refining, fertilizer manufacturing, and a new petrochemical industry. Work with the private sector to achieve full occupancy at existing to be completed industrial estates at Belvedere, Lethem, Onderneming, and York, and construct additional estates to meet growing demand. Establish a small business development complex in Georgetown to provide SMEs with organized spaces and proper infrastructure to grow and operate more efficiently. Designate a mini-industrial and commercial zone to relocate particular categories of businesses, thereby also enhancing living conditions in established communities. In agriculture, the PPP says it wants to make Guyana the food-producing capital of the Caribbean. It promised to encourage mega-production systems to harness the benefits of greater economies of scale, operationalize the regional food hub at Yarra Cabra, which will include technologically and scientifically driven storage, processing, and packaging facilities, establish an agri-tech and agro-industrial complex, and co-invest with agro-processors to crowd in private capital into value-added food production and create additional markets for farmers for their fresh produce, open up more than 100,000 new acres of arable land, continue to upgrade farm-to-market roads in farming communities, expand D&I systems and networks, and provide additional support for farmers, including breeding stock, planting materials, and fertilizer. In education, the manifesto promises free education tuition to continue at the University of Guyana, unlimited scholarships under the Gold Program, a new Guyana digital school to give parents online learning options, payment for up to 8 CSEC and CAPE subjects per child, construction of over 100 new schools with modern labs and ICT facilities, higher salaries and better working conditions for teachers. In healthcare, the pledges include completion of 12 new hospitals, 25 health centers and regional drug distribution hubs, recruitment of 6,000 new nurses in the next term, telemedicine at 200 sites linking hinterland villages to specialists, a national ambulance authority with land, river, and air ambulances, use of AI in diagnostics, and rollout of electronic health records nationwide. In infrastructure, the manifesto highlights mega projects, a new 4-lane bridge across the Berbice River, completion of the Linden to Lethem Highway with bridges at Kurupakari and Puruni, the 4-lane East Coast Demerara Highway from Mahaica to the Edward, expansion of the East Bank Highway all the way to the Chadijagan International Airport, a 4-lane road from Sconard on the West Bank to Goshen, and the creation of Silica City, Guyana's first smart city. The housing pledges include 40 new homes built in the next 5 years, clearing the entire backlog of house lot applications, continuing the Core Homes and Young Professional Homes program, upgrading communities with concrete drains, streetlights, recreational spaces, and security cameras, advancing the new Silica City as a prototype for smart living. The oil and gas agenda promises completion of the 300 megawatt gas-to-energy project at Wales, slashing electricity costs by 50%, building a second 300 megawatt gas-to-energy plant at Wales, and a new national fuel depot to enable export of cooking gas to the Caribbean, expansion of local content opportunities to train and employ more Guyanese, strong oversight of the Natural Resource Fund, with all spending going through Parliament. Regarding Amerindian and hinterland communities, the manifesto promises at least 15% of carbon credit revenues continuing to flow into village projects and see the start of 5,000 new projects, more scholarships and training opportunities, expanding use of telehealth and ICT to bridge the development gap. On security and governance, the manifesto promises expansion of the Safe City CCTV network, more police stations and vehicles, constitutional reform through a 21-member commission, new courts and a nationwide e-litigation system for faster justice. From new homes and highways to hospitals, schools, and smart cities, the PPP says this is the roadmap to a modern Guyana. But the real verdict will be at the ballot box in exactly 2 weeks, and the PPP is hoping for a very comfortable victory. When the newsroom returns, the Chief Elections Officer says it is virtually impossible to vote twice on Elections Day. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. Chief Elections Officer of the Guyana Elections Commission, Vishnu Prasad, has assured the public that it is virtually impossible, unless there is collusion, for anyone to vote more than once at the upcoming general and regional elections scheduled for September 1st. Speaking at GCOM's first press conference for these elections, held 14 days before the polls, Prasad addressed concerns about the possibility of double voting. He outlined several measures designed to safeguard the integrity of the process, including a folio of colored photographs of registered voters. Prasad explained that this visual verification system has been strengthened to make impersonation and duplication more difficult.
There are several safeguards. To begin with, at the point of an elector approaching the poll day workers, that elector must identify himself by presenting his ID card. There is no provision for an elector to use his valid Guyana passport or driver's license to identify himself as the person he claims to be. Of course, that will be followed by the presiding officer ascertaining whether in fact this is the person who is listed in the OLE at that polling station to vote. So there is that aspect of identification. There is again the folio that would be there that would carry the photograph of the elector against his registration particulars, just in case the elector is not in possession of the ID card. That folio will not only be in our staff possession. Every agent sitting at that polling station will have a folio. There used to be complaints in the past that it was difficult to use the photograph, which was in black and white, to identify the person. This time around, the folio will carry colored photographs. So that is something to be done at the level of identification. And of course, there's the issue of the ink. You have to dip your finger in the ink before you drop your ballot in the ballot box, because the clerk who's there would have his or her hands on the aperture there to ensure that you don't do that. Now, when I mention ink, I recognize that there was a comment as to the potency of the ink insofar as it remains on your finger is concerned. First of all, the rule is that on your finger naturally. That's one. Two, in engagements with manufacturers and suppliers of this ink, they have given guarantees that it is not possible to remove that ink easily unless something was applied to the finger before it was dug. For example, an elector may come with an oily finger or some type of cream on the finger. In this regard, we are taking steps to ensure that we have tissue at every polling station to ask electors to clean their fingers before they put it in the ink.
Are you saying, sir, that it's virtually impossible for persons to vote twice in these elections? Are you putting your head on a block, sir?
Virtually impossible unless there's collusion.
The official list of electors caters to 757,690 electors as follows. District 1, 24,453. District 2, 42,596. District 3, which is divided into 3 sub-districts, caters to 116,876. District 4, which has 4 sub-districts, 323,436. District 5, 50,796. District 6, with 3 sub-districts, 111,554. District 7, 17,846. District 8, 9,192. And District 10, 38,460. As regards to polling stations, We have 2,790 such polling stations across all districts.
President Irfan Ali on Monday said in efforts to make access to services simpler, the single electronic identification system, essentially a digital ID card for all citizens, will facilitate the registration and access to the country's cash grant voucher program. The president was at the time speaking at the commissioning of a new block at the North Rheinveld Secondary School.
This government can answer with confidence and with evidence, as we are seeing here today. We can point firstly to the investments we are making in healthcare. Every family knows that good health is the foundation for a good life. Even your children, a good education rests on a good healthcare system. And when one looks at the voucher program, it is not a simple program. It is going to be integrated in our digital ID card. By the way, I think I got registered today to be the first person to receive a digital ID card. I have to pick up my ID card. It will be registered into the digital ID card. And why is this important for your children? Your children is going to grow up completely different from the way we grew up. We are collecting baseline health data from our children. So from a very early age, we can address their specific issues and address public health care through public education.
Guyanese Dr. Arif Bulkan has been selected by the Regional Judicial and Legal Services Commission, the independent body responsible for recruiting staff and judges for the Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ, to join the CCJ as a judge. He will fill the vacancy created by the elevation of Justice Winston Anderson to the presidency of the court in July this year. Justice Bulkan holds a Bachelor of Laws from the University of the West Indies, a legal education certificate from the Hugh Wooden Law School, a Master of Laws from University College London, and a Doctor of Philosophy in Law from York University in Canada. He has worked both regionally and internationally, and in the course of his career has functioned in various capacities, including as litigator, academic, author, activist, judge, and international law expert. Justice Bulkan was admitted to the bar in Guyana in 1990. It is expected that he will be sworn in as a judge of the Caribbean Court of Justice in October and is the third Guyanese national to be appointed to the CCJ bench. Deputy Chief Elections Officer Anil Giddings has assured that security arrangements are being put in place for communities along the Guyana-Venezuela border for the upcoming general and regional elections on September 1st. Speaking at a press conference on Monday, Giddings noted that special attention is being paid to areas within District 7, such as Kaikan and Etteringbang, as well as communities in Region 1.
Mbaïmaday, Kamarang, Kaikan, Etteringbang. I believe those are the areas that are along the corridor where there have been some issues in the past. We have interacted with both the Guyana Defense Force and the Guyana Police Force. I did mention Observation Post Macapa as well as a balloting station. And for polling day, we have already engaged with the Guyana Police Force. As a matter of fact, they have provided us with some guidelines. And for polling day particularly, we are to iron out some of the arrangements that are in place. What we dealt with was immediately the arrangements for disciplined forces balloting right now. So consideration has been given to this issue. And together with the Guyana Police Force, the joint services, I'm quite sure they will be able to advise us because they're the security persons.
As you take into consideration Region 1, which is also...
Region 1 is also under consideration, yes.
So what? Have you been guaranteeing security assistance by the police in the army in this regard? That's what
I would say yes. We have been guaranteed security. As I said, the plans are not final. We are yet to resume our talks on this for them to tell us exactly what will be in place and what could be our expectations.
More news ahead. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. More than 50 people are set to receive costly limb prosthetics through a collaboration between India, the Caribbean community, and Guyana. On Monday, the inaugural India CARICOM Prosthetic Limbs Camp was launched at the Tolmi Rehabilitation Center to support amputees from all across Guyana.
The inaugural India CARICOM Prosthetic Limbs Camp, launched at the Talmareed Rehabilitation Center on Monday, is a joint effort between the Ministry of Health, the High Commission of India in Guyana, and CARICOM. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, High Commissioner of India to Guyana, Dr. Amit Tilang, High Commissioner of Belize to Guyana, Gail Miller Garnett, and the Director of Disability and Rehabilitation Services in Guyana, Dr. Aryan Mangar, were among those present at the launch. Dr. Mangar said the partnership would give amputees the chance to regain dignity, mobility, and independence.
To date, we've completed 35 limbs, and we plan to complete another 50 before the camp is over on the 30th of. And with this, we plan to ensure that every region, amputees from every region benefit from this initiative.
The camp involves professionals working with recipients to ensure proper fitting, training, and adjustment to the prosthetics. Prosthetic limbs often cost upwards of $400,000, making them unaffordable for many. India, through its partnership with Kalpatour Projects International Limited, has previously supported similar initiatives in Tanzania and Ethiopia. This is the first time the project has been introduced in Guyana. High Commissioner Dr. Tilang emphasized that the government of India is committed to strengthening bilateral relations within the region and confirmed that the project would be extended to other CARICOM member states.
This is just not initiative as a medical initiative, but also about forging closer partnership between India and this region.
Dr. Tilang also noted that India intends to provide further support through capacity building programs, including training opportunities for citizens of CARICOM states. Meanwhile, Dr. Serena Bender-Pelswick of the CARICOM Secretariat said initiatives such as this reaffirm member states' duty to protect the rights of persons living with disabilities.
The inaugural prosthetic limb donation and fitment camp, which will provide prosthetic limbs to its participants free of cost, will significantly improve their mobility and quality of life. To the participants and the beneficiaries of this initiative, this camp is more than just about receiving a prosthetic limb. It is about recognizing your right to autonomy, independence, and self-actualization of your full potential as a contributing member of society. The Secretariat acknowledges your resilience.
The professionals will be working with those persons in weeks to come, providing much-needed support for them to adjust to the prosthetics. For the newsroom, Lizina Yearwood.
Minister of Housing and Water Colin Curl has hailed Building Expo 2025 as a one-stop shop for thousands of Guyanese seeking opportunities in home ownership, construction and innovation. The four-day event, held from August 14 to the 17th under the theme Road to Success Ghana 2030 and beyond, saw the distribution of more than 2,100 land titles, the signing of over 1,100 agreements of sale, and the issuance of 275 steel and cement vouchers valued at $60 million. On Monday, Kroll told the newsroom that the expo was designed to provide comprehensive support to citizens at every stage of the home ownership journey.
We had over 350 exhibitors, and that's allowing persons as much opportunity as possible to be able to capitalize in the various interests that they may have for home or building construction in general, or construction in general. And so, for example, and then on the other hand, we also have on the Ministry of Housing aspect of the commitment of some distribution of the certificate of titles, agreement of sale signing, as well as the steel and cement vouchers. Overall, though, I can deem it as a success. So we have over a thousand, maybe about over 1,100 agreement of sale that were signed for those three areas that I referred to: phase 1 and 2, 2 friends, and LBI phase 3. As well as when they signed for the agreement of sale, they were able to simultaneously sign for the processing of their title. So that has started. The certificate of titles, agreement of sale signing, as well as the steel and cement vouchers. Overall, though, I can deem it as a success. We were able to distribute a number of certificate of titles and transport that were recently completed in terms of processing. We had about 2,100 plus that was made available. Close to 1,000 of those persons came and uplifted. For the agreement of sale, this is for Two Friends Phase 1 and 2 and LBI Phase 3. So these are these are areas that we have the recorded plan and we were able to sign for the agreement of sale. So they had diversified exhibitors. So you have the banks who were all happy and they expressed pleasure in terms of engagement with persons who would have sought a lot of information, some are even able to be pre-qualified based on the information provided. We also have from architects to the construction sector, people who are supplying aggregates, persons who are in the hardware store business, things that are required for home or both external and internal. We had over 28 international companies represented from 10 different countries. And they all, and you know, I took some time even over the last 2 days to listen to the exhibitors and to get a feedback from them, and they all expressed pleasure in terms of the expo. So you have opportunity for, if you want, rather than the traditional way of building your own home, you have persons who are offering prefab or different hybrid type of construction, new type of materials that are being used for example, away from your zinc material for your wall. We also had a prefab house on demonstration. We had two of our houses that we normally offer. That is for the young professional flat, and that's a 15 million. And then we have the 3-bedroom flat, and that was $9.5 million. So when we had said once up, in the sense that yes, you can come. It doesn't matter which stage you're at. You could have come to the expo and would have been able to engage an exhibitor that has something or that is relevant to you. Any relevant thing information that you needed, that you wanted to know in terms of for construction or to come. It doesn't mean you're doing it now, whether it's in time to come. This is what we want persons to do. Once you're a pending applicant, your planning can start now. Don't wait until we call you until you're allocated and then you're running helter-skelter. You can start your design, you can start your model, you can start with your drawing, you can start with all of that and be pre-prepared. Our commitment has always been allocation of lots. But as a government, we now want to shift the focus, not just for allocation, but home ownership. So it's really initiatives that gear towards helping with home ownership, opportunity, engagement with the bank, the interest rate coming down, support with materials, and that's a line of the networking to be able to help quickly as possible, and especially for young people now to have their own home. We've allocated 51,000. Now, yet when you go to our LMS system, you still have over 75,000 persons who are in the system. And you may ask, well, we have allocated so much, how come you still have so many persons still are pending? But as the persons become 21, they can apply. So you have the household, people who become adults, they're applying too. And we're the victim of our success story. Our success story is that persons are getting through. I want to assure your listeners, therefore, that once you're a past applicant, then you will be able to be addressed in the upcoming People's Progressive Party civic government.
The Guyana Elections Commission GCOM has extracted 10,481 ballots to be used by the disciplined forces to vote on Friday, August 22nd. Deputy Chief Elections Officer Anil Giddings at a press briefing on Monday said GCOM is well poised to conduct elections for the disciplined forces. The disciplined forces include the Guyana Defence Force, the Guyana Police Force, and the Guyana Prison Service. They vote ahead of the actual elections because they will be working on Elections Day.
We are well poised for the conduct of these elections on Friday. All of the logistical arrangements have been made. At this point in time, there is nothing aside from maybe force majeure that can prevent such conduct. As regards to the disciplined forces, As I said earlier, 10,481 persons are registered on the 3 services as follows. For the Guyana Police Force, 6,909. For the Guyana Defense Force, 3,106. And for the Guyana Prison Service, 466. The disciplined forces, if they do not get to vote by some reason of incapacity or anything of that nature, on the 22nd of August, will have an opportunity to vote on election day. They are listed there.
When the newsroom returns, the financial weather and bridge reports along with sport.
Whatever your dream is, Republic Bank can help you make
Welcome back. This is the newsroom. It's time for sport. The horse racing community in Guyana is in mourning after the tragic death of 18-year-old jockey Kishan Pereira. He died after falling in the penultimate race at the 17th Guyana Cup held at the Rising Sun Turf Club on Sunday. In a statement, the Jumbo Jet Thoroughbred Racing Committee confirmed the tragedy and extended its deepest condolences to Pereira's family. The committee acknowledged that this was the first fatal accident in their 17 years of promoting the Guyana Cup, and that an earlier light shower may have created unseen soft spots on the track. They stressed that a full review of the circumstances is underway and reiterated their commitment to safety. The loss of Pereira is a devastating blow to the sport. The young rider was a talented up-and-coming jockey with a promising future. Dataman of Master Z Racing Stables won the feature race at the 17th edition of the Guyana Cup horse race, which concluded Sunday at the Rising Sun Turf Club. The race pitted the defending champion Olympic Kremlin against a stacked and quality field, but Kremlin didn't start after apparent mechanical issues at the starting gate. Nazruddin Mohammed Jr. of Jumbo Jet Racing Stables spoke to the newsroom after the race and expressed his emotions about the win. Both stables share the same trainer. Speaking before learning that one of the jockeys had succumbed to injuries in a prior race, Mohammed Jr. noted that the event was hard work.
The emotion, I can't explain. Lots of hard work, lots of studying. The horses that's been in Guyana that's been winning, to get the right horse to come and make sure that we take the cup this year.
How hard was it to pull off today?
This right here is a miracle. Last week we had rain Thursday, Friday. I don't want to talk about it.
But going back to this was your goal at the press conference. You spoke about coming hard. It was achieved. How do you feel about that?
It feels great. It feels great. It just feels great.
Now, rain, sweltering heat, packed seats, thrilling horse racing, the 17th edition of the Guyana Cup had it all. Most unfortunately, the near end of the day's proceedings was marred by a fatal injury to a jockey. Our cameraman, Kurt Cadogan, captured these scenes at the Rising Sun Turf Club earlier in the day. Colin Monroe enjoyed a triumphant return to the Trinbago Knight Riders, scoring a record-breaking century in his first game with the CPL team he had represented for 7 years until 2022. He smashed 120 off 57 balls, no TKR batter has made more, to set up a total of 231, which paved the way to a 12-run victory over the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. His opening partner, Alex Hale, supported him with 47 of 27 balls. They got 77 runs in the power play, and the 100 up in 47 balls allowed TKR to cruise to their third highest total in the CPL. Patriots made a good go of the chase, with Kyle Mayers and Andre Fletcher hammering 80 runs in less than 8 overs. But once their partnership was broken, so was the rhythm of the chase. TKR used their spinners to good effect, with Akil Hussain picking up 1 for 25 in his 4 overs, and Usman Tariq landing crucial blows, in particular breaking a rampaging first wicket stand and finishing with 4 for 33. The other match on Sunday, Antigua and Barbuda against St. Lucia Kings in North Sound, was abandoned without a ball being bowled. CPL continues Tuesday, with Kings facing Patriots from 7 p.m. at Warner Park. That's our broadcast this evening. I'm Neil Marks. Remember, you can get breaking news and sport at newsroom.gy. Take care.